Assuming responsibility is super powerful. It allows us to level up in ways that we wouldn't be able to otherwise. That's what we're exploring today. What's up, Explearners? Welcome back. We've just concluded our mini-series on communication conundrums and how to deal with them as they're happening, and also to prevent them in the future by creating our communication toolkit with lots of strategies according to different communication conundrums and situations. The central theme of the strategies we've given you throughout this mini-series is all about taking responsibility. Because when we take responsibility for our actions, for our communication, and for the communication outcomes, we can actually improve our skills. And we know exactly what to do and how to do it. And it is an empowering feeling. And that is how we get closer to communicating with confidence, authenticity, and poise. Am I right? While things can go wrong for a number of reasons, some of which are within our control, some of which are beyond our control, at least we can take charge and figure out what is within our power to change. And that which we can change is going to be able to get us to the next level in our communication, in our relationships, interpersonal relationships, intrapersonal relationships, the relationships we have with ourselves and our self-talk that's positive, hopefully, and not negative, and making you an all-around better communicator so that you can excel in your business and professional lives and also your whole wellness around you and within you. By taking responsibility for your progress towards better communication, you'll find that you're able to walk through life with less friction and smoother, richer, more meaningful interactions. So as you can see, assuming responsibility is a superpower. So Hal Elrod, the author of My Miracle Morning, said, "The degree to which you accept responsibility for everything in your life is precisely the degree of personal power you have to change or create anything in your life." Communication is something we do every day and we can't live without. Not if we want to be part of communities, to have that social fabric in our lives that keeps us healthy and happy. Studies show we need social interaction to keep going. So you can't escape the fact that you need communication. And if you want to have richer and deeper social interaction and relationships for more positive outcomes in your life, then you need more effective communication skills. And you know that already because you're subscribed and you're watching. So responsibility is linked to the commitment you have to improve an aspect of your life. We're talking about assuming responsibility for our communication skills, for our communication outcomes to improve the way we communicate and the way we interact. We're providing a roadmap for you so that you can take it upon yourself to really hone your communication skills and become a more effective communicator to communicate with confidence, authenticity, and poise. That is why we're here. So how do you hold yourself accountable for your communication, for the communication outcomes, and for various speech events? The first thing you can do is make sure, let's say you're giving a speech or you're having a conversation with a bunch of people or you're holding a meeting or you're giving a formal talk. You need to research the subject. Doing research on the subject makes you closer to becoming a subject matter expert. And if you're able to talk confidently and eloquently about a subject, then your speakers will be even more inclined to listen to you. And you'll become more equipped to have that credibility and put yourself in front of people and share ideas. But you have to do the research ahead of time. There's no point in faking it. And faking it till you make it is not the way we want to go with this, because that's just scraping the surface. We want to get at the roots of the matter. So it all comes down to doing the heavy lifting ahead of time. So do the research on the subject. The next thing you do, prepare for the type of speech event that you're about to get involved in. Is it a negotiation? Is it an interview? Is it a formal talk, like a TED Talk? Is it a lecture? Is it a casual conversation among friends or new colleagues? Is it a social that you're going to participate in at the end of the workday? what kind of speech event are you engaged in? You need to be sure to have the proper ways of communicating, the proper register, the acceptable nonverbals in that specific setting. So to do this, you want to refer back to Delheim's speaking model, and there's a great video about that we have. So be sure to watch it so that you can know about what to do in certain social settings. Number 3, know your audience. Knowing your audience is one of the best ways of giving a great speech, of connecting with the audience, of making sure that your message resonates with them so that it inspires them to do something. It is a call to action and it stays in their mind. And that is what we need to do when we want to effectively communicate our message to a group of people. So you have to do the research on who your audience is. What do they like? What are their interests? Who are they? What speech communities are they from? What cultures are they from? You need to know this because that is going to allow you to customize and tailor your message to what interests them. The next strategy is keeping perspective. You have to have a mindset shift. A lot of times when we're nervous, the reason we're nervous is because we're afraid of the way we're going to be perceived by the audience, how they're going to judge us, evaluate us. Usually communication apprehension or stage fright is caused by evaluation apprehension. We are nervous about how they're going to judge us and perceive us, and essentially how they're going to evaluate us. But if you change your mindset about really what you can offer the audience and what value you can add to their lives, then it becomes a whole new ballgame, and it's not about you, it's about them. So that is really what we're getting at, because you're there to share some great ideas, to give them something to think about, to help them find their sense of purpose, to highlight the mission of the company, to share your vision about a product, to inspire them, to call them to action. So it's not about you. It's not about what you're wearing. It's not about how you look. It's not about that, because it's not about you. So make sure you have that mindset shift so that you can really connect with the audience, and you will 100% be less nervous and more confident going in there, going into the meeting room, going on stage, going into a room of VCs, because it's not about you. And once you can see that, and once you actually practice that, it's like a heavy boulder is lifted from your shoulders, and suddenly you're not carrying the whole weight of the world anymore. So make sure that you do that work, change your mindset. The next thing you do is you get feedback, quality feedback, honest feedback, constructive criticism from a qualified person. So this could be anyone from someone who has a lot of experience in public speaking or in interviews, or a qualified coach or a professional or a professor, somebody who can really point out areas for improvement, and not only point out what you need to do, but how to get there. Because it's not enough to say, I think you could be doing this better. But then the question becomes, how do I do that? So the how is what you need to level up. And a communication coach, a professional, can provide valuable resources to you. Because ultimately, if we don't have feedback, then we can't get to the next level, right? So you get qualified people to give you quality feedback. The next thing you do is you take it upon yourself to seek out resources. There are a lot of great tools out there. This channel is designed to give you tools you need to communicate effectively in different social settings, right? So there are a lot of tools out there. Use them to your advantage. That way you can at least educate yourself about different strategies and different ways of doing things, and try out what can work for you to your advantage. So as I always like to say, we give you strategies here, but you have to try them out. You have to make them your own. You have to add them to your communication toolkit in order to effectively use them and appropriately use them when the time comes. You never want to wait when you're in the spotlight, when you're in that meeting, when you're in that negotiation, if you've never practiced the strategies ahead of time. So you have to take it upon yourself to not only seek out these resources and these tools, but to use them ahead of time, practice, make them your own, and add them to your toolkit. The next thing you can do is to seek out an accountability partner. What's an accountability partner? This is somebody who has similar goals to your own, and you basically keep each other in check. Think about it as sort of like a gym buddy. When you know you want to work out and you want to stick to a workout regimen, but you don't quite have that intrinsic motivation, that inner motivation just yet, but you're building up towards it. You want to get there. So you find somebody who could be a friend, a colleague, your spouse, your best friend, a sibling. Find somebody who has similar goals to your own in that specific area that you're looking to improve. So in this case, communication. So find somebody who really wants to improve their communication skills, their interpersonal skills, their public speaking skills, and hold each other accountable. That way you're motivating each other, you're each other's cheerleader, you're each other's support network, you're each other's friend, right? And that way you can make sure that you're both sticking to the plan that you set for yourself, keeping each other accountable for your improvement and for your progress in your communication skills. Having an accountability partner can get you in the rhythm of things so that when the time comes, you have built up your own intrinsic motivation that will be the fuel to keep you going. But in the beginning, when you're still trying to get into the rhythm of things, having an accountability partner can be the way to go. The next thing you can do is to really be honest with yourself. Recognize the areas that you need to improve upon so that you can go to the next level. Inertia, doing nothing, stifles improvement. So you want to take action. Even if it's baby steps leading you to the right direction, you want to take action. It's better than not doing anything at all. Inertia is the enemy. And the last thing I'm going to say here is to make time to do all these things. Sometimes you actually have to physically schedule it in your planner, in your calendar, in your planner, so that you can make sure that you do those things. And just setting aside even 10 minutes a day, just getting into the rhythm, creating a schedule that works for you and that is attainable is going to yield the result that you want. So make sure you pencil it in. Make sure you block out that chunk of time, be it on weekends or during the week. Fit it into your schedule because that is how you're going to work on these skills for your personal and professional development. Let's quickly recap before we go. The problem that we're trying to solve is placing blame on external factors for communication issues that go awry. And these are what we call the communication conundrums. So they can be the miscommunications, they can be the communication breakdowns, or the sticky situations that really make us feel uncomfortable. So it's all about assuming responsibility for our actions, for our communication outcomes, and ultimately for our communication so that we can get to the next level and improve in that area. And while placing blame on external factors for those sticky situations might feel good in the moment, they provide no long-term value. And at the end of the day, you're just fooling yourself. So instead of doing that, we've come up with different strategies to help us take accountability over our areas of improvement and for how to set a schedule and make sure that we have established a routine so that we can get to the next level in our communication. And now more than ever, as technology is eroding our ability to communicate, we need to step up. We need to make sure that we're keeping ourselves in check so that we can continue to interact socially across cultural settings, across situations, and different speech events, because that is the differentiating factor between those who can lead and those who can follow. And so you have to decide which side you're on and how you're going to get there by implementing the strategies that we give you and practicing and ultimately making these strategies your own and part of your communication toolkit. And by holding yourself accountable, you'll see the gradual changes that are going to improve your personal and professional lives. And that is what we want to do. All right, Explearners, so that's a wrap on this video. If you haven't done so already, we encourage you to subscribe so that you can join us for the next video, and be sure to give us a like. It really means a lot to us. Share it with a friend. And we'll catch you next time. I'll see you in the next video. Happy Explearning!